We're the Young Indie Chroniclers podcast, and we're producing a new feature-length documentary, George Lucas, The Lost Golden Age.
George Lucas was going to do this Lawrence of Arabia scale epic on a 16-millimeter budget.
You got a chance to have the same adventure making the show as what Indy was doing.
His stuff is really quite political.
You didn't think I was going to run, did you?
I learned that when George says he wants to ultimately change or fix something, that he was going to do it.
We built a Kickstarter campaign to support the film. Late pledges are available now at Kickstarter.com.
Hello there. Welcome to Force Ghost Conversations. This podcast is your home for cozy deep dives into all things Star Wars and Lucasfilm adjacent properties. This is your host, Anthony King, and each week I will be joined by fans, creators, and believers in the principles from the galaxy far, far away to discuss the thematical elements from our favorite Lucasfilm properties. And without further ado, it is time to gather around the campfire for some Force Ghost Conversations. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Force Ghost Conversations, the cozy place for deep dive discussions into all things Star Wars and Lucasfilm adjacent properties. Another exciting episode is due your way this week, folks. We have Kent from Memeobi online to discuss all things Maul, Shadow Lord, episodes 3 and 4. It's an incredible conversation. We have a lot of intrigue, speculation as well into these couple of episodes and where it can go for the future, because boy, does it end on quite a cliffhanger. So full spoiler warning ahead. If you haven't seen the episodes of Maul, any of Maul Shadow Lord, frankly, you may want to pause this episode now and go check it out on Disney Plus, and then come right back to this moment in time. You've kind of been forewarned on that. Before we get into that main topic discussion, though, let's dive into some quick news that's taken place in Lucasfilm and Star Wars Galaxy over this past week. And did we get some new news? We got some new news, folks, here. We have been finally told that Star Wars Celebration 2027 tickets are finally going on sale starting on May 6th at 12 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. So 3 p.m. Eastern time if you're like me on the East Coast. So be on the lookout for that. And, they've got 3-day ticket options. Not 3-day, but 4-day ticket options. They have single-day ticket options. And, of course, the larger Jedi Master one, which kind of gets you into all the big panels. It's like $1,000. Good luck getting that one. You kind of have to be like the first person in line in order to really pull that one off there. But all those do exist. And again, May 6th is the place, time and place to go and get those, or at least get in line to try and get them. May the odds be in everyone's favor. I'm very hopeful, and it'll be exciting to finally be on the lookout for that. There's also going to be some hotel blocks released for them around the convention area. So if you're going, it's always important to know where you're going to be staying at. It's a big important detail there. We'll all be there in downtown Los Angeles to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Star Wars, and I look forward to all this, and I hope you are too. So mark it on your calendars, get those tickets, and let's look ahead towards next April 1st through 4th next year in downtown LA again at the LA Convention Center. So that's the big news. Other news in the Star Wars galaxy is that there is Disney at least has been releasing some promotional videos for the changes that are taking place over at Disneyland's Galaxy's Edge, including the upcoming meet and greets with characters like Han Solo and Princess Leia. You can find them on our social channels, those reposted videos, and I think it'll be an exciting time. It's going to be fun to go to the park there and to see these fun characters that we've known and loved for many years roaming around. And what interactions can we possibly have with them? Who knows? Let's let our imaginations run wild. So those videos again are on the social platforms. And while we're on that topic, you can of course follow along with all of the Force Ghost Conversations, wacky adventures that we're having, and that is of course available on our X, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky account. Just search for Force Ghost Conversations and we'll be there. And then we also have a Patreon site where, for as little as $1 a month, you can get access to a lot of Forest Ghost Conversations goodies. We also have a TeePublic store where you can get Forest Ghost Conversations related merchandise, t-shirts, hoodies, pillows, blankets, socks, I believe, too. A whole lot of different things available on that platform, and you don't want to miss out because they do sales regularly. So if you want to sport your Forest Ghost Conversations pride, whether at home or abroad, maybe you're going to Star Wars Celebration, you want to have that Force Ghost Conversations t-shirt so that people can be like, what's that? And you can be like, it's my favorite Star Wars podcast. That would be the time to do it. So all the links for all of those things I just mentioned are in the episode description, and I hope that you go check it out then. That is all the news that I have compiled for this week's episode. Let's get into our main topic conversation with Kent from Memeobi. Stay tuned. Maul is back, ladies and gentlemen. He was there last week with the first 2 episodes of Maul Shadow Lord, and just as you can imagine, Maul's continuing on with episodes 3 and 4 this week, and we are here on Forest Ghost Conversations to break it all down here and talk about the thematical elements and just everything in the nitty-gritty that is Maul. And we have a guest on Forest Ghost Conversations here this week, a brand new guest. You may know him from the internet as Memeobi and Memeobi's Galaxy of the podcast. Memeobi, welcome to Forest Ghost Conversations, and how are you doing?
Hello, I am very happy to be here. You can also call me by my actual name now because I have officially rebranded to my actual name. So my actual name is Kent. So
hey, Kent. Okay.
Kent Memeobi. I go by both on the internet. I'm very happy to do both. So and I'm very excited to be here. I love talking Star Wars, man.
The lines are so blurred, your family doesn't even know who you are anymore.
No one knows. No one even knows.
You're just like, I see the Jar Jar behind you, and you're like, am I just Jar Jar now? Who am I? I don't even know.
Star Wars has become one with my daily life.
As it should. As it should.
As
I
it
think
should.
people would be, most people would be better off if Star Wars was a part of their everyday life, in my opinion.
This is probably true.
That's if they get it, right? There are a lot of people that don't get the right takes from Star Wars, I would say. But for the most part, if you're willing to engage with it, you come out on the other end with a good head on your shoulders.
Yeah.
And for the most part, yeah, people will be better. So thank you for hopping on to chat about Maul with us here this week. And I'm curious to hear, to start this conversation, about your thoughts on just Maul in general. What do you think of him in 1999? And have any of those sentiments changed at all in the past 25 plus years?
Well, there I was, a wee 4-year-old child. So
hey, me too.
it was a perfect time for me. I didn't get to see it in theaters, but I did have 4 older brothers, 3 of them who went and saw it multiple times upon release, and then came back and told me all about it. We then proceeded to my childhood was mainly Star Wars. I would say, like, very Star Wars focused. Like, we played all the Star Wars video games. We didn't play Mario. We played Star Wars. We played Rogue Squadron. We played, like, mainly Star Wars games. So Darth Maul, for me as a child, was perfect. Like, yeah, you could use a little more of him. And, like, I get that fans now wish they had more Maul, but we now do have more Maul. And I think what I normally say is he's one of 3 I call legacy characters that have never been done wrong.
Okay.
Maul being one, Darth Vader, and Mon Mothma.
Fair enough.
But I think the direction that they have gone has been rocky from the start for most people. Not for me. I have, but I love Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars is Star Wars to me, and I'm very accepting of what it is. It's kind of like, Star Wars to me is kind of like a friendship. If a friend chooses to do something that I don't necessarily like, but it's not that bad, I'm still gonna be friends with them, right? Like, they decided it. I can't change that things happened. I can just kind of roll with it and be like, okay, well, this is the new normal, I guess.
Yeah.
But I was definitely one of the fans who was like, oh man, Darth Maul's back with the Clone Wars. Like, back in the day, I was like, what is this? He's got spider legs. Like, what's going on? And, like, I just kind of rolled with it and watched as it went through, and it definitely developed into something that is definitely next level. And Sam Witwer definitely knows Maul.
Yeah.
And that shows in the show.
Agreed. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're engaging with what is rather than exploring a what if with Star Wars all the time, right? I think
Yeah.
there's so many people that get logged into this sort of circle of hate and dogma that
Yeah.
they're just like always complaining about things that should have been happening
Yep.
versus being like, oh, I like this show, or there are elements of this show or TV show movie that I liked, and I'm going to really just dive into that.
Yeah.
Or think about larger, how does it affect the whole story in general, rather than just like nitpicking on something and just making it their entire personality. Um,
Yeah.
but I like hearing that Maul was a part of like your early Star Wars days too. Was he at all nightmare fuel for you?
No, I was never. I was very disconnected from. Like, it's a weird way to put it. So like my brothers were really into making movies and into
Hmm.
like I have probably realistically watched more behind the scenes of Star Wars than I have of actual Star Wars.
Nice.
Because we have watched and rewatched. Like George was so big into the behind the scenes. Like in episode
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3, he loved it because he knew that this could fuel the next generation of filmmakers, and I'm sure it has because it shows the background and it doesn't. It's not just a like nowadays on movies behind the scenes is like a compilation of a fun montage of we did this and this.
Hmm.
No, George wanted to put like details. So like I was big into like the background of movies. I was movies never scared me
Yeah.
growing up. But Darth Maul's not that scary. Like my 3-year-old daughter loves Darth Maul,
Okay.
and she's like, I know he's a bad guy, but I like him. So like,
Okay.
there's something about Maul that you can tell. Maybe not in episode 1 because episode 1 he's just kind of there. But like, if you watch any more of him or see him, you can tell that he's trying to do something and he's
Hmm.
passionate about it. Sure, does he murder people to get his way? Yes, but you can see the passion in
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
his
Who
ways.
hasn't? Who hasn't murdered a few people to get what they want?
Sure.
Well, your 3-year-old's braver than I was back in the day. 4-year-old me in 1999 was deathly terrified of
Yep.
Maul, and of course, I felt like for at least a good 3-4 years after that, Halloween was just filled with people dressing up as Maul
Yep.
and coming to the
Oh, yeah.
house, and I was like, it was that and Scream, right?
Yep.
So the Ghostface
Yep.
was just constantly appearing at the door, and I was like, no, not again! How is this possible? So I was rocked with the character from the start, and then I mean, I'm like many people grew to love him. With more time, right? More time understanding who he is, what his ambitions are, feeling pity on the guy, right? I think that's a big
Yeah.
part of the Maul experience. Um, so yeah, we're full into Maul season now. Maul Shadow Lord came out last week with the first 2 episodes. What did you think of last week's start?
My initial thought was, I wish I didn't have a podcast reviewing this weekly because I would personally like to watch it all in one go, and I don't
Yeah.
like cliffhangers because it never feels like enough.
Hmm.
But no, I'm really enjoying it. I mean, all the hype I think is totally warranted. Like Lucasfilm has been doing a big thing with shows, right? They've been having a lot of like creators come out and like really, really kind of hype up stuff. But for this one specifically, I don't think it's all hype. I think it's real.
Hmm.
I think this is one of the shows that's kind of bringing back in some older fans back into the fold. Like I have one listener and follower who he doesn't like anything. It's so sad. Like it's honestly a sad way to live to
Yeah,
not
you're like,
like.
are you a Star Wars fan at a certain point?
I know, but don't tell him that because that doesn't go well. But he even said he's like it's so nice to finally like something Star Wars. I'm like,
Mm.
oh, sad, but also awesome for you.
Welcome
Like,
back, and maybe
I'm
you'll
really
with fresh
excited.
eyes look at the other things again.
But no, I think initially watching it, I was like, man, like I think every episode going forward, I'm still gonna think in my mind, I want more Maul. I want less side quests, like
Mhm.
side characters. But with episodes 3 and 4, I think that has kind of turned around in my mind because I'm like, I don't know if I want the lieutenant guy. I'm like, I just want Maul. I want to see how OP he is. But overall, first 2 episodes, I love that Disney's doing the 1, 2, 3, 4,
Mhm.
like two sets of episodes at a time. Could they just do longer episodes? Whatever. But I'll take what I can get. I'll take what I can get.
Syndication, just in case they put it on on Disney XD or Disney
Oh,
Channel
yeah.
or
That's
whatever
fair,
channel they want to put on these days, right? Then they can throw in ads and
Mm.
call it a day.
That's actually a
Uh,
good point, to be fair.
It was probably a decision made in the business room. Otherwise, I bet they probably would have just done the hour episode. Now, I'm curious. You were saying I too am of the mind that because of what we've gotten so far with this, that I'm
Mhm.
like, man, it is tough to do a week to week episode. I'm sure once we get to like 7, 8, 9, 10,
Oh
right,
yeah,
then like things will really fall into place. But
yeah,
these initial set of episodes, both last week and this week, are just like putting the puzzles into place, right?
yeah,
We're just getting some ground rules. We're figuring out the lay of the land, who some
yeah,
of these characters are, right? Because we honestly haven't. We just know
yeah,
Maul survived Order 66, and that's the last time we see him. And then we're like a year plus later,
yeah,
and now we're just thrust into this new world. So we're learning just as much as really everybody else is. Like we're kind of lost in Vader in this space, just kind of
yeah,
figuring things out as we're going here. And with that comes a slower, more drawn out approach to the series, which is somewhat different than I would say that the rest of the saga, frankly, but more
yeah,
particularly Star Wars animation has ever done, right? They've always done it via like a 3 episode arc, via the Clone Wars, singular episodes
yeah.
such as Rebels, of course,
Yeah,
Resistance, and then of course Bad Batch is more of like a couple 15 episodes in a season, but every episode is individual episodic towards that main goal. This is seeming like, all right, 10 episodes is telling a consistent story through line. I'm just going to get piecemeal things throughout here. Do you think that the slower pace overall then helps to add to that difficulty in a week to week cover of this story?
I would say kind of, but I can definitely see like it's interesting, right? So they definitely on purpose for marketing let us know there's a season 2
Yeah.
because I think if this would have just like, there's 2 more episodes left and there's like, okay, well, they're not really getting to the end of this
Mhm.
storyline. People are gonna be like, what's going on? Like they're gonna have to rush it in the last
Sure.
episodes.
Sure.
But I think letting people know it's 2 seasons is kind of nice in a way. One, it shows that it's not gonna get canceled after season 1.
Yep.
I think they knew that it was gonna have a good reception. Like, I think they know that Maul has been done right. Obviously shows like Acolyte got canceled halfway through, like, it's different. That was kind of a questionable area for them. Live action, first live action, like, the whole thing. Um, I'm I like it. I'm happy with the slow release. It feels like we might get more. I don't
Mhm.
know. There's something about it that it's not. I'm not worried, I guess. Like, especially after
Okay.
these first 2 episodes, it doesn't worry me. It also makes my recording on Monday. I do Monday night recordings right after I watch it.
Right afterwards, yeah.
Um, because my whole thing is watching, like, doing a reaction with no forethought,
Mhm.
no other people's input. I don't want to know if other people like it. I'll just do it. So I don't mind that, because if you get like too much or they're too long, it's like, oh, it's kind of a bear to get through, and you definitely miss stuff. So I'm happy with the lengths, and I'm happy with the 2 episode structure.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Me too. I think this might be a formula for Lucasfilm moving forward.
I hope so, kind of.
At least for the Maul series, right? We know we're getting a season 2, as you noted, which I think is
Hmm.
great because it does take so long for animation to be done.
Yeah,
So they might be even working on a season 3 at this
yeah,
point.
yeah. Honestly,
Like at least the concept work for it.
yeah,
They might even be recording season 2 lines right now of dialogue.
yeah,
So it's great. I think that's the big problem that I think a lot of people have in the streaming space as well, is the concern of, well, what's the point of watching this if I know it's not going to lead anywhere?
yeah,
Um, and it's nice to just not have that concern, that weight on our shoulders, right?
yeah.
I think that is just a blessing in this day and
Mhm,
age that we're
mhm.
not really accustomed to anymore. Things get canceled left and right. They get
Yeah,
1 season, 2 seasons, maybe, and then a cliffhanger
yep,
ending, and then you're just left wanting more, and everyone moves on to something else, and you're like, great, I love that. I've made it my whole life for a couple of years, and now it's
yeah,
nothing. But at least we get to dive into this, and obviously there's still so much more of this series left to go with 6 episodes, and um, with that, we don't know where this story ends, right?
yeah,
We don't know if season 2 is a time jump. We don't know if
yeah,
season 2 takes place 2 days later at the end,
yep,
whatever the finale of season 1 is. Are we going to get 5 seasons of the show, and are going to be spaced out over time? Like, are we going to get up to seeing that scene in Solo from a different angle, vantage point? Are we going to see beyond Solo? Are we going all the way up to how Maul gets on Malachar, right? We don't know what the driving force of the end goal for this series is, but for now, let's enjoy the ride.
hmm I completely agree.
Yes, and that. Well, the first episode of this set really got the ball rolling on Maul's tactics to seduce Devon to
Yes.
his cause. What did you make of his kind of unique approach to trying to seduce her to the dark side here?
So I think I don't know. I don't know if you've touched on this in your previous episodes or thought about this. I'm trying to figure out what is Devon's deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is she just happened to be around? Did Maul just sense her in the Force, or does he know there's something bigger going on? Does she have some sort of secret power? Like, is there something with her family? Did she have was she
Mm-hmm.
also joined late or something? Like, I don't know. It definitely works. Obviously, it's very Maul. It's very like he's trying to show, and he's doing a very good job of it. Nonetheless, he's showing that there is more. He's not a one-dimensional character.
Yeah.
He's almost talking to us. Like, I'm not just this.
I'm proving you guys wrong.
Like, I'm not just a bad guy. I might be a bad guy, but I'm not a bad guy. You know the line. Like,
Yeah.
And it's definitely working really quick on her. Because you can see the one thing I noticed, because I happen to be researching this recently, is I'm sure you've seen clips of her or statements on this, but the lightsaber stance she takes, like the forms that she does,
Mhm.
like after they turn off the lights, she goes from form 3 to form 6.
Mhm.
3 being like Obi-Wan Kenobi, right, being the more aggressive stance, and I think 6, I think it's Qui-Gon, but also like Soul from Acolyte, more defensive, more traditional type. And you can tell she goes back and forth between those defensive, attacking,
Yeah.
because she's trying to figure out who she is. I mean, she's still a young Padawan. Obviously, Maul's going to try to seduce a Padawan than a master, because they're
Probably easier.
less ingrained, less indoctrinated. Really, like, they haven't had their whole life spent towards this. But the way he's approaching it, it makes me wonder, what is Devon's deal?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm questioning that too. I mean, we kind of hypothesized that last week, which was, Maul, especially at the end of season 7 of the Clone Wars in that Siege of Mandalore arc, he's
Yeah.
like prophetic Maul. Like he's
Yeah.
worried about
Yeah.
like this larger darkness that's engrossing the galaxy, and he really can't put his finger on it yet, or
Yep.
he can't put words to what he's just out there. He's like, something is happening, and join me, Ahsoka Tano. We'll figure it
Yeah.
out together, kind of deal. And he has that same kind of approach to things, right? Being prophetic here, but he's not being very clear to, at least to the group around him, what his like grand visions that he's seeing are. And that's interesting to me, at least what the show is laying down so far, right? What are the threats that he's recognizing? Is it Sidious? Is it Beyond? Is it something else? Is it, who knows? I mean, frankly, we'll just get more and more as time goes on, hopefully.
Yeah.
And to your question there, it's like, where does Devon fit into that? I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't think he really saw Devon like in his visions. He just might have seen like a Padawan of sorts, and it's like the
Yeah.
Force is just drawing him to them together, and that's just the way it's going to work out here. So again, very interesting, and it seems like she even has this sort of like um, implication that Maul they have a history of some sorts.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
curious what they'll do with that, and I'm curious what your thoughts are on that as well. If you caught that at all,
Yeah.
or if like, did she have is Diodaki a different master of hers, and Maul killed that, or maybe she had a sibling? I mean, siblings happen in the Jedi Order, right? And they know each other, and maybe Maul cut down a sibling of hers or a close friend or like something like that, and like now she wants vengeance on him, and she gets a chance. Like she knows who he is, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like the Jedi probably kept that under wraps, that he lived and survived, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that wasn't vast knowledge across the Order during the Clone Wars, when they're focused on being stretched everywhere across the galaxy, and Maul just appearing was like a thorn in Obi-Wan's side, rather than like,
Yeah.
because they didn't devote their entirety of their resources to stopping Maul, right? That's
Yeah.
how he creates the Shadow Collective in the Clone Wars. He just gets like he's just figuring out the ways of the underworld, while the Jedi can't really tackle that at that time. So again, we'll get more and more as time goes on. And did you have any thoughts on like what the implication is for Devon at that point too?
I can't really figure it out.
Yeah.
Meaning like when she first sees him in episode probably 1, I don't really remember. She says Maul. Like she
Yeah, without a
knows
doubt.
who it is. It's not like, oh, this is a Sith or this is a
She's
bad.
not
Like
like random Zabrak.
she knows. I think the problem is most people watching this show didn't catch that because from our perspective, yeah, Darth Maul, big bad guy, everybody knows about him. But like you're saying, like not everyone in the Jedi Order would have been privy to this information.
Oh, no,
Like-
someone in the
like-
Outer Rim is like, I ain't not paying attention to that at all.
No, they're on their station, they're in their temple, they're doing their thing. So there's definitely a history, right? Daki says, yeah, like you said, he says it's not, he can't pursue vengeance or whatever he says.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, okay, so what is the vengeance for? I mean, it's what you said, but I don't know. I'm excited to find out. I don't know when we'll find out. I think it's probably going to be the turning point for her at some point. It's going to be probably the thing that turns her to the dark side. Because I am on the side that she will become a Sith
Probably
apprentice.
more likely.
It feels very likely at this point, unless is that too on the nose for them? Are they trying to subvert expectations? I don't know. You never know. You really. Daki's going to turn, dude. Daki's
Yeah, I doubt that. I bet he's not long for this world if I have to take money on something.
No, I don't think so. But no, I cannot really even theorize. I mean, I guess I could theorize, but all the theories don't feel right. I feel like there's something bigger, and I think it has something to do with why he chose her. I am not on the side of, oh, hey, there happens to be a Jedi on this planet. Like the way he's so thought out on everything, I don't think it's just going to be a rando Padawan girl.
Yeah. Did you ever think you'd see Maul pouring tea and trying to have a chat with somebody?
it honestly doesn't feel that far fetched. It fits in his character. To be honest, like it really does. He feels like a guy that might be. He's going through a tea era of his life right now, man.
Yeah. He's like he's trying to reverse the image that the galaxy has of him, or at least for the seduction point here, right? Because I think that was the thing. He's like, you think you know me? Let me show you to the contrary here, right? Take the lightsaber, see what feel the power, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be that alternative to your master that you currently have, or like I like the way that he approaches this at least the initial crumbs of seduction here, right?
Yeah.
Because what we know of Devin is that her and Eeko-Dio Daki are just kind of surviving. They're in the gutters, and they're not really using their power for particular gain like a Sith would. They're just trying to make it day by day and survive. And what does it mean to be a Jedi in this time? Like Maul's even questioning that. He's like, "What are you doing? Like, there is no order anymore. There's no Republic to protect, right? You're not using your powers to really help people. You're just existing.
Yeah.
I can give you a greater purpose again, and I can give you power, and you just because you don't deserve that anymore, right? He's really pulling at the strings early and often from the start, almost to the point that I'm like, man, Eeko-Dio Daki, you really don't got anything to, you don't got any leverage here back, other than like hoping that she has kindness in her heart. And right now, she was like so quick to steal some food.
Yeah. No, like he's definitely not doing that great, which could be kind of to your point. Could this not be her primary master? Could she have just maybe this is a new master for her because
they both survived? Maybe
they both survived. Maybe it's just like a random. He happened to be a master. He brought a Padawan with her, and she doesn't even like him that much. Like it, he definitely is not doing that good at keeping her around. If I'm being honest, like he's like saying all the Jedi things, but it's like all cliche Jedi things. He's not really like, oh no, this and this. He, like, or not giving her tangible, actionable items, I guess you could say. And Maul's like, this is what I can do for you. This is what you want, and I can get you to those ends, right? So, yeah, I don't know. Daki, he's gonna die, and he's not, and he's not doing a good job of keeping his Padawan very well, in my opinion.
Well, to that point, I'm thinking I'm getting very similar feelings and an aura to. Obviously, there's going to be echoes to Anakin, right?
Sure.
Anytime there's some sort of seduction to the dark side, and Dio Daki is very similar to like the Yoda figure, and I'm just thinking of Anakin being like, "Hey, I think my loved ones are dying," and Yoda just being like, Just let him die.
Yeah,
Rejoice. You let, and then Palpatine on the other end is like, "Oh, Anakin, I can help you on that one. Don't worry about that." And that's kind of what Maul's doing here, right? He's like, "You guys are living in the gutters. You have power. You can take what you want. Don't let them tell you who you are."
yeah,
And then Diodaki is just like, we just got to make it towards tomorrow. And if we ask for people for money and help, eventually we'll get something. She's like, that's never going to work,
yeah.
right? It's that quicker seductive path. That is the nature of the dark side. And I think it's working. I think it's working. I think the strings are
Yeah.
being pulled, and we'll see where we go from there. But that first episode concludes with Devin finally escaping from Maul's grasp at that point right now. But did she ever really leave? I don't know. But the second episode then featured a unique kind of quote unquote bait and switch as Maul finally gets his revenge on the Pikes. And I'm curious about what you thought about that whole sequence. Like, were you caught off guard at all by that? And by when I say caught off guard, I mean like the Maul side character. I'm forgetting his name on the top of my head here. I think Icarus maybe.
Yeah, one of those.
Was in place of Maul, and Ludi thought that he had caught him.
Yeah, I definitely thought, well, I knew he was aware. Like, it was very obvious to me that Maul knew that he was going to get betrayed, but I thought he was going to get like, whoa, I was like, he got captured. Like, okay, it's like, but I guess, but I was like, it's definitely part of his plan. Like, whatever this plan is definitely part of it. So it was like it was a surprise, but it wasn't surprising.
Yeah.
It was not foreseen by me, but not like, oh, it was, okay, yep, that makes sense to me.
So I'm intrigued to hear that discussion point there, because I think if you go back to like what our conversation was last week, folks, we were saying that we are so excited for the show, and our only inhibition right now is that Maul needs to have an adversary worthy of his abilities, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, how many times can we see him just chop up people before it becomes stale, right? We've already seen it maybe roughly 3 or 4 times now. And when Ludi Vario turns on him and that allows him to, Icarus to be captured, I thought, whoa, hey, he didn't see that coming. And then lo and behold, he didn't see that coming. I was like, wow, as a person just watching this, I thought, okay, well, finally we're going to get him in a position that he has to break out of something, right? He's feeling challenged for the first time, and like, nope, he's actually the smartest person in the room still. You thought you were lulled into this sense of like, oh, I'm going to see something different here and see how he fights out of this scenario here. But actually, he had this all planned out from the beginning, and he knows these underworld guys like no tomorrow. And guess what? He's going to get his revenge one way or the other. And boy, I liked how the sequence turned out really, really well.
Yeah, no, I think pretty much after he went down and then didn't show his face, I was like, well, they're not showing his face. Like, I feel like, then I was like, but the one life form. Obviously, we know now that Icarus was farther forward in the ship, and then they scanned it from in front of him, so they wouldn't have been picking him up. So they only did get one. So Maul. Yeah, I don't know. I could watch it, I don't know, like 4 more times, probably 4 more episodes of him not having a big boss, big bad guy, and it's fine. Like, I'm good with it, because I don't know, Maul has that place in my heart and in a lot of people's hearts and their like fandom, that he, like, it doesn't matter. They can watch it all day. Like, he could do that all day. But the sequence overall, I love the kind of a nod to The Last Jedi, I guess you could say, right? With the turning on the lightsaber and pulling through,
sure,
kind of like they did with Snoke there in the throne room scene. Is it just a cool thing to do, or is it a nod to Last Jedi? Who knows?
Could be both.
Probably both.
It's always both in Star Wars. Nothing is done without reason. But yeah, I really like that sequence a lot too. And with this episode, we also get to see the reunification of Eeko-Dio Daki and Devin, and he poses the opportunity to leave Janix, right? He's like, oh, Maul's here. Eventually the Empire will find out about him and they'll come a-crawling. Let's get out of here. And she's like, no, we can use this as an opportunity to do good, right? Take him out. If you were in their shoes, just curious here, would you have stayed or departed as soon as possible?
Well, the old fight or flight. So it turns out I am flight. I found at one point in my life. Yeah, survival.
Yes.
is
Make it to
is
tomorrow.
I'm not much of a, last stand. I don't know. Yeah, no, you get out. I'm getting out of the if I'm in a horror movie, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hiking. I'm out of there. No, my car won't start. I'm done. No, I don't think it's. But obviously, she wants to stay more
Yeah.
than just bring him down. That's what she says, and that is what she wants. That's what she says is what she's making herself think she wants because she wants justice,
Yes.
and she's not getting that through her master. So I think Maul's going to probably present like, "Hey, I can bring down these big crime syndicates and all this stuff, and you could join me."
We can run it
Obviously,
together and make it the way we
yeah,
want it to be.
yes, and you can become Darth
Maybe
Talon.
a Darth T. Join
Maybe
me, Talon.
that's her last name. We don't know her last name yet, and who knows?
Devin Talon.
Could be. Could be.
I just to answer the question, I would depart as well.
Yep.
I think in this day and age, or not in the day and age of what they're living in, right? I think it is important to survive, right? That's what the Jedi are doing, and the time to strike really isn't now. And with the Empire comes the Hunters, the Inquisitors, maybe a Grand Inquisitor, maybe a Vader, right?
Yep.
There's so many things that are potential when they're brought into the mix, right? We know that Inquisitors are eventually coming into this series, and we don't know to what end they will play in this larger story overall. Who knows? Time will tell on that front. And I think Diodaki is right. It's like, hey, what's the point?
Mhm.
We're not going to create a rebellion here
Yeah.
on this planet. We're not going to solve all the problems just by existing. We are everyday low normal people now, helping out random instances where we can, trying to stay under the radar as much as possible. And if they go into the big radar, all those big guns are going to start noticing and pay attention to it. And as a survivalist myself, I would lean on surviving, just to let Maul be handled by the authorities around them, and let everyone else handle it.
Yeah.
But to the Anakin point again, this is similar to Anakin being like, "Hey, Sidious is the Sith Lord. You need my help. We gotta go take him out." And you know, if they had let him join, maybe there's a different outcome at the end of all things, rather than just
Oh,
saying
yeah.
like, "No, I don't trust you. Stay here.
Yep.
If you stay here, you'll earn my trust," which I never really got. That's a poor Dooku Windu way of solving that there.
Yeah.
But and yeah, she's like, "Hey, we can take him out here," and I'm like, do you just want to spend more time with him?"
She
Which is
does.
kind of like what I'm also picking up there a little bit. Is like, oh, maybe she just wants to see what he has to say a bit more. Maybe she's trying to bait Master Eeko-Dio Daki into saying something better, versus his switch up his when push comes to shove. If he's pushed into a corner, right? Maybe that will force him to say something to a more concrete example of
Yeah.
why they need to exist in the galaxy and do good, and be she's lost everything that she's ever known to that point, as
Yeah.
far as we know. And when that's just ripped from the rug under, pull the rug out from underneath you, right? You have
Yeah.
to create anew again what you are, and she's like left voidless, and the master clearly isn't fulfilling that void enough with enough nourishment and enrichment to get to that point. So Maul
Yeah.
might be filling the rest of the gaps there for at least quite some time.
I concur. It's very similar to what a lot of people go through in like real life with like deconstruction with like religions and stuff.
Yes, totally.
Like a lot. Like I talk with people about this a lot, but like a lot of people don't necessarily want to. It's not what they're wanting to do, but it's just kind of like, well, they're young and they're questioning things, and their master or their leader or whatever is like making them like, oh, well, maybe this isn't the best way that I want, and then they start questioning. And that's obviously why Maul's doing it with a young age, because like I said, like they're not as indoctrinated into the Jedi temple. Maybe they were on an outer, like a mid-rim territory and not in the temple a ton. And like, who knows, like there's a lot that goes into it, but it's obvious that he's doing it for a younger person because they are more moldable in a good way for his reasonings.
Absolutely, yeah, and I mean that's the experience that he had too, right? He felt powerless.
Yeah.
He understands what it feels like to be left in the gutter multiple times. As a kid, he was probably picked up on Dathomir, and then given this choice and opportunity to have, I will be number 2 in the galaxy, and that was the thing I was promised, and
Yep.
then I lost all that, and then I had an opportunity again to be head crime lord, and then lost all of that once more, and yeah, so in terms of a person that can say from personal experience, like, hey, we have the same goal now of taking out Sidious.
Yeah.
Join me and we'll figure this out together. It really adds for some interesting conversations that we're going to have later on that they're really laying the groundwork for in these couple of early episodes in this series, which I'm glad to see.
Yeah, I hope. I don't know. Like, we'll see. I mean, I've theorized about like with like the Sidious conversation. Like, are we going to get a Sidious? Like, is he too busy? Like,
Mm.
would we? Are we getting a Vader? Like, Vader seems very obvious to me, but Sidious, I don't know. I don't think season 1, but because and maybe that's just me coming from like my live action like Kenobi and stuff. It's
Mhm.
like, well, he's older and they don't really need him to play. But now it's like it's animation. Anything can go. Anything that
Yeah.
makes sense in the
Yeah.
realm of Star Wars. Now, I think Sidious is probably a little too busy at this. I mean, sorry, Palpatine is a little busy at this point in his life, running the galaxy and manipulating people, and like he's a politician now. Like, you got stuff to do. Can't be
Mhm.
out just fighting all the time. That's why he has Inquisitors. That's why he has Vader.
Yep.
Like, I think we're going to get Sidious, but I don't think we're going to get a Sidious fight
Interesting.
Personally.
I mean, we've seen in the trailer that one of the Inquisitors is calling somebody.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't know who yet. Now,
That's true.
does Merrick have a direct line to the Emperor? Probably not. Do I?
Because
I don't think
yeah,
all the Inquisitors just goes directly to the head honcho boss of the galaxy. I bet it's
no.
more than likely the Grand Inquisitor, in my opinion.
Grand Inquisitor and or Vader, because in Kenobi
Yeah.
we got to see all that. Like, he kind of runs them a little bit. But like okay, just off the cusp here. I do feel like the end of season 1 is going to be a cliffhanger of them calling Vader.
Hmm.
I think Vader is season 2. I don't think Vader is season 1 at all.
Yeah, I would lean to that same angle too.
And it makes sense for like marketing the next one. If you have a cliffhanger, it creates hype. You need a cliffhanger at the end of your season, since it's already has a second season, and then everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, dude, Vader's coming back." The whole thing.
Mhm.
Like, it makes sense
Mhm.
from a marketing standpoint, a movie making standpoint, and all of it. Personally,
It does, absolutely. And the question I would say though is like, what's the point of bringing Vader into this? Right? Is the Grand Inquisitor not enough to handle this? And the thing that I would say to that kind of question, just off the top of my head, is, which is I think an exciting point potentially, is like, why was Kenobi such like the thorn in his side? Right? Like he blamed him for everything. That, like, he's the reason why Padme's dead. He's the reason why I'm in this. Like, everything that Anakin and Vader hated about themselves was like put into all the hatred that he had for Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that's why the impetus for like, okay, Kenobi's still alive out there. Everyone get away. This is my task. I'm dealing with this. The thing on the Maul front here, right, is like, this is Kenobi's greatest failure in some ways, right?
yeah,
Like, the Maul, he tried taking out Maul, and then I'm sure Anakin heard about it forever. That's why he tries to do the same move and do the high ground thing in the in
yeah,
Revenge
yeah.
of the Sith, right? I bet that was a common tale that he heard out in the galaxy with his master. And just to be like, oh, I can take out Maul and do what Kenobi can never do. Like, that's another way of me showing him that I'm better than him, and another way to stick it to the man of sorts. I'm just so interested about what those Inquisitors will really add to this tale here. And you were mentioning about what it could mean for like a Grand Inquisitor, and hypothesizing that there could be a second. Do you have any more to say on like what a second Grand Inquisitor could entail for this?
Well, yeah. So, like, my thought process of why I thought of that is because our trailer gives us the first brother and Merrick, which we both know that they survive because one's in Ahsoka and one's in Tales of the Jedi with Ahsoka as well. A lot of
Yes.
Ahsoka going on. Um,
It's
and
that
we don't.
Filoni, of it all.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I like Filoni. But the Grand Inquisitor doesn't get introduced to us until later. I guess
Hmm.
is Kenobi would be before Rebels. So I guess we do
Yes.
know the Grand Inquisitor is in Kenobi. But hypothetically, there could be another Grand Inquisitor, because we know they can kind of change hands if one dies. So my thought process is, well, I might be like backtracking my own thought, meaning to get to Vader, we
Hmm.
would need Maul to be doing something so bad, since we know the one bad thing he does is he can't kill those two Inquisitors. There
Yeah.
are other, I think, Inquisitors that are available, I think, at this point still. I think there's some unknowns still. I don't think we know anything about a third brother. So like he could be showing
You
up.
can just make them up.
Well, yeah, I don't think we have a third. We have a fourth sister. They're so hard to keep track of. But theoretically, there could be another Grand Inquisitor that would be the reason that they would need to call the big boss
Mhm.
Vader to come deal with old robot legs.
Yeah, and be like, hey, I can even see it coming from Sidious. Be like, get rid of this thorn in
Yeah.
my side. I've had enough of this thing.
Yeah.
You are my number one. Well, my number two, number one. And he's the old news, just like you did Dooku.
Yeah.
Get rid of this thing. No more loose ends. We're the Empire now. I don't want to think about the old regime anymore.
Yeah. I'm probably completely wrong. Real in my like,
but that's the fun of this.
yeah, I know. I like theorizing, but then part of me is just like, I'll just watch the show and just figure it out. Like I go back and forth between wanting to just be a consumer and wanting to actually be a guy that talks about this kind of stuff.
You can be all of it at the same time.
Yeah,
everywhere all at once. Well, towards the end of this episode set, we finally got a great lightsaber sequence between Daki, Devin, and Maul, because they didn't leave the planet, folks. They could stay and they help out, and they kind of give the information to Lost and Brader about where Maul is kind of hanging out at, and that leads to this incredible battle sequence here. How do you think that this duel overall may impact the ongoing seduction that Maul is planting for Devin?
It obviously is a huge part of his plan. It was very obvious that Maul yes, he gave her a choice to let her leave earlier in episode 3. But that was a double-sided blade, I think. I think that was one to show her, see, I'm a nice guy. I let you have free will. We can do whatever we want over here on the dark side.
Yeah.
And 2, because he knew that he would have an audience with her and be able to do a debate with Daki, like showing both sides. And I think he just knows that his is more compelling to what her goals are. We don't know what her goals are, but we do know that there's something. So I think him having him come back is very tactical for the seduction of Devin. But great lightsaber fight. Amazing. Lots of great visuals in the red and the blue and the whole Sam Witwerth screams and the blade and like the little nods to episode 1 with like the little
the chanting, whatever that is. Yeah.
The little whispers of dark side energy. The thing, honestly, it was weird. I don't normally think of other IPs when I watch Star Wars. This one gave me a lot of references or visual references, or just reminded me of Demon Slayer, specifically the newest, like the whatever it's called, the newest one that came out. It's like a movie. There's a lot of fights that are like a side view, like in a corridor, and this gave me a lot of references or similarities of that. I mean, samurai and like these swords definitely feel more samurai, the lightsabers do, and the way they're fighting feels a little bit more kind of anime, I guess you could say, in a way. It's a combination. I think it's better than original Clone Wars. I don't think it's as good as Maul versus Ahsoka Clone Wars. That's like one of my top 3 lightsaber fights of all time. But I think it's definitely a very cool visually, and I think it's really, really, really well done.
Agreed. I think this is such a excellently choreographed sequence, and also, as you were saying, beautifully, very stunning visually as well. This whole series has just been nothing but a chef's kiss in terms of the animation, and I'm glad to see that they'll hopefully continue doing that as the rest of the season goes on here. And did you at any point think that this was the sayonara for Eeko-Dio Daki? Did you think that this was it for him?
No, because it's going to be more of a build-up. It's going to be something that's more than just a death. He's not just okay. I keep making such bold statements. I don't think it's going to be. I've been trying to.
Yeah, you're speaking in absolutes here.
Hey, it's a good time. But I think it's going to be the turning point for Devin. Meaning, I have 2 trains of thought. First is Maul, like he's gonna like die, and she's going to have to. he's gonna do the thing is like, oh, if you would have just used the dark side, you could have saved him. Or part of me wants to think she's gonna do it as like he's gonna be like, hey, you got to get rid of him. Like it's gonna be like a very like a high speed chase. It's gonna be very intense. There's gonna be a lot of emotions. It's gonna be like a kind of like a tech in like a fall off the bridge type situation. Like it's very a lot of emotions, a lot of things happening, lasers shooting, people with lightsabers, a lot going on, and it's gonna raise that emotion in her, kind of like just like in real life that would happen. Like it's just there's a lot going on. I got to choose. What do I want? Do I want Maul? Do I want him? I don't even really like this guy. He wasn't really my master. Like maybe, like it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be a very epic sequence. And then he has to die. I mean, I guess not, but like, it's very obvious he's going to die. And I don't mind that it's super obvious. I mean, as
long as it has an impact.
Yeah. I think it's going to really impact her. I think that's going to be the tipping point, the straw that broke the camel's back, all those.
Yeah. I mean, for a second there, I thought he might be done, but Devin comes in and saves him, and I think, okay, it's more interesting to keep him alive from now, like you said, right? It's going to have meaning, and because he takes that big hit to the chest, he's basically down and out, and barely gets away. They both barely do, right? It takes some luck along the way to get there, and I think Maul, of course, lets him go a little bit too. He could have pressed even harder, I think, but he's thinking long term, greater picture. He's learned his lesson about trying to be too non-impatient as a person. So he's boding well for learning the lessons of the past, I suppose. And when Eeko-Dio Daki is like, I failed you at the end, right? I feel like that just has a lot of weight on it, right? Like, I think it serves the purpose of first off, we failed to stop Maul and get him, right? Which I know is important to you. So I failed you in that sense. But I think he's kind of alluding to a larger picture here of, I can sense that there's something going on in you. And I feel like I failed you as a mentor, a teacher, someone that's trying to prepare you for the choices you're about to make. And I feel like there's a tragedy in that. Do you have any thoughts on that?
There is a tragedy in that for sure. I don't know. I think, I don't know. I'm kind of torn and don't have a lot of things that I haven't thought on that specifically, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint because we don't know the backstory yet. Like it kind of, to me, it just kind of alludes to more of a backstory. I think it's good that we're not just spelling it out. I'm glad we're not just doing exposition dumps. It does feel a little refreshing because then that's kind of what we do. It's kind of what shows are these days. They just have like and that works in some shows, like, I can't think of anything right now, but there are shows that works. Invincible, like the new anime show on Amazon. Sure. Like they do literal flashbacks and that works in other shows, but you can't do that in Star Wars. Yeah. So I like that they're doing a little more nuanced and maybe not answering all the questions, keeping it. I don't think all questions need to be answered. Now, some questions need to be answered.
Absolutely.
You can't only have no answers, but I like the idea of them potentially not answering all our questions and kind of keeping it like, oh, there's more here. There's more story we don't know. There's more weight to his words, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. And I think there's a lot more to be told in this sense. And maybe with a couple more episodes, that sequence just hits even harder. This might be a series that you have to rewatch multiple times to fully embrace and appreciate every little detail that's been given along the way, which I think is awesome.
That could be cool. I won't. I never watch things twice. But
I've watched these episodes 3 times myself before hopping on today.
I don't. I do not like It's really weird. Like I haven't watched the Clone Wars since it released.
Really, all the way back in 2009.
Yeah, when it came out, that's when I watched it. I haven't, but like I can still quote it or whatever I need to do. I'm gonna do a rewatch. I am gonna do a rewatch. But like I just did we just did an episode on like Boba Fett or something like that, and I hadn't watched it since it came out, or like a Mandalorian. I don't like watching things again. I don't find it very enjoyable, but I have a really good memory, so I don't feel hindered by that, I guess. But I think it's cool if we need to watch it more than once. I think it's a very good point. There are definitely stories I've watched more than once, and I get more things out of them. I'm not saying I don't ever do it. Like, it's just now in my current state, I don't rewatch things as much.
Hey, that works too. And this episode 4, I should say,
Yeah,
ends with a cliffhanger.
does.
There's a big reveal at the end of this thing. Two Boots, much to Lawson's Braider attempts to stop him, eventually does get a call out to the Empire, and probably rightfully so, right? I think
Yeah.
Braider is a little too big for his pants with this one, and trying to figure out how to stop Maul. What do you think happens next? Looking ahead towards next week, right? We know the Empire is now part of this. It's not looking good for a lot of people in this.
Well, first off, I want to say he should have took the deal from Maul.
I think so too. It was a pretty good offer.
It was a very good deal. Like, it's obvious he was already kind of working with some syndicates anyways. Like, dude, but he didn't know. He didn't know who Maul was. If he would have known the power and like what the actual, like, whatever, like his syndicate and everything was, he probably would have.
Yeah.
But no, the big old ship comes over. I think obviously we're getting some stormtroopers. We're getting some Imperial officers coming in and questioning, like, well, why didn't you call us? Yada yada yada.
You knew for weeks. Why didn't you call us in?
I mean, he might go to jail at some point. There's going to be some stuff with his wife. I bet his wife shows up realistically.
Of course she is showing
like
up.
She's on that ship, I think. She like
they said Janix. Oh, I'm signing up for this one.
Oh yeah, my kid's there, free, easy trip to see my kid. Like, go watch some whatever that shock ball. I don't know, maybe it's not shock ball. I forget what it's called. Whatever the sport is.
Lacrosse.
yeah, lacrosse, because there was a thing hanging in Anakin's room. Anyways, I think initially we're not getting a Inquisitor, but we'll get one very soon. Like maybe episode 6. I think episode 5. I think is gonna be like Imperial officers, kind of like taking over Janix, kind of questioning, figuring out them kind of running around. Then I think we're getting Inquisitor in episode 6. I think we get, I'm going to predict Merrick. We're getting Merrick first.
You think Merrick first, and then the other one?
I think the first brother comes in. How many more? Is there 10 episodes total, or is it 8?
10 total, yep.
10. Yeah, I think the first brother or whatever is going to be the second to last episode.
Well, I mean, it's a fair point that we don't know who Merrick calls. It could be the other Inquisitor, where he's like, I need backup on this. I mean, that would be the most inflating kind of speculatory things. I know people in the fandom are going crazy with, the speculation on who are they talking to? Who is he talking to in this case?
Yep.
But and logically, it could also just be, hey, there's another, there's a lot of people here, Jedi and Sith. Come, I can't do this all on my own here.
True.
So, I think what you're saying totally tracks. I think that, they did add your wife works for the Empire. Like they just threw that in there to set this up, obviously. And of course, the son relationship too. They're kind of strained. Divorced dad, the pizza was on the table still in the house. Seemingly hasn't been to one of his space lacrosse games in a while, and then left midway through. Didn't see him score the goal. Very tragic. Yeah, there's going to be some family drama in this thing. There's going to be the Empire taking over, right? Who knows what that fully entails? And we're going to see that some Janix was seemingly operating as best as it could, and now we're going to see it with the full weight of the military might of the Empire crushing their boot on everything, and things are going to get worse for the people, the citizens of this place. Yeah, you're saying Lawson might be in jail. Two Boots might get a promotion.
What if they just make the Empire just look amazing in this? Like really turn the tide. Be like, no, the Empire is actually really good.
For some planets, it's a great thing. Yeah,
it's probably for some. I mean, our protagonist is like a horrible person right now, right? Like Maul is a terrible person overall. Like like we said, murdering everyone. But like he is the one we're rooting for, which I'm so glad. Just a side note, so glad they're finally giving us a bad guy as a main character in Star Wars. We've all been called. I think it's a good test run to get an actual Sith movie, but that's another conversation.
Another conversation for a different day, and I'm excited for where this is going to go because like we're speculating here, but we've honestly got no clue.
No.
We're taking some clues, making some logical leaps here, but all in all, we'll be tuned in next Monday to find out. Kent, Memeobi, this was fantastic. It was a pleasure having you on and chatting with you all about episodes 3 and 4 from Maul, Shadow Lord. Where can the listeners find you online if they want to continue the conversation or just check out the cool things you're doing in that space?
Yeah, so I'm mainly on Instagram. I'm at Memeobi is my handle. I do memes, I do videos, I do all the classic. I do some lightsabers, I do some podcast clips. I also do run a podcast called Memeobi's Galaxy, a Star Wars podcast. It's on all the major places. We do a similar thing to what we're doing here, talking about each episode. But beyond that, we deep dive into other fun topics, and I interview lots of different people, sometimes people from Star Wars itself. So you'll have to go check that out. But mainly memes, to be being honest.
Mostly memes.
Mainly Memeobi, it's in the name. But yeah, go give me a follow. I respond to every single DM I get, and I will always talk Star Wars with anyone and everyone.
Nice. Fantastic. Folks, give him a follow, and Ken will be sure to have you back on for whenever something new comes out in the Star Wars galaxy. We'll be sure to have you on for a fresh conversation about that. And folks listening, thank you very much for being a part of this episode. And guess what? We'll be back next week with talking about episodes 5 and 6 of Maul, Shadow Lord. Did our predictions come true? We'll find out. Tune in then, and we'll all join in on this Maul journey together. And until then, may the Force be with you. Take care.
Thank you.